I was scrolling through Twitter one day and I found this tweet from Daily Mail Online, and it reads, "Mosque faces probe after Imam claims wives have obligation to have sex with their husbands and should not be career women." And so I decided to look through some of these comments. Major W, look up science and you'll see how men are more sexually driven. Without sex, it affects their well-being. And can't a man have his own opinions? A wife is obligated to sleep with their husbands and satisfy his desires. Career women generally make for poor wives and mothers. It's still 1446 in his world. Okay, that makes sense. Ladies, act accordingly and avoid religites like the plague they are. Look how they're so eager to say we're not people. Clever. Yeah, and just similar comments of the sort. And so I realized that this original comment about wives having this obligation is actually from a hadith. Right? There's a lot of variants of this, and we'll look at those God willing. But narrated Abu Hurairah, Allah's messenger, if a husband calls his wife to his bed, i.e. to have sexual relations, and she refuses and causes him to sleep in anger, the angels will curse her until morning. And this is in Sahih al-Bukhari 3237. So I decided to diagram these different narrations to see, where the fabrication allegedly took place. So let's just see the traditional understanding and then see where it all goes wrong. So it starts with Abu Hurairah, and he allegedly transmits this to Abu Hazm, as well as Zurara ibn Awfa. Let's go with this strand. Zurara to Qatada, and then Qatada to both Sha'ba and Hammam. That Hammam also transmits this to Sha'ba, who transmits it to Affan as well. Right, and Sha'ba is claiming he got 3 different sources for this hadith, the same hadith. Claims to have received it from Hammam, claimed to have received it from Qatada, and claimed to have received this from Sulaiman Al-Aʿmash. Okay. And then Sha'ba proliferates this even further. Then we go back up to Abu Hazm. He says he gave it to Al-Aʿmash as well as Yazid ibn Kaysan. And then Yazid tells Marwan, then Ibn Abi Amr, and then it's canonized in Sahih Muslim. Okay. Now, Al-Aʿmash, when he receives it, he proliferates it like crazy. He's telling Abu Muawiyah and Waqiyah and Jarir and Bin Umair and so on and so forth. Right? And it gets canonized in Sunan al-Nasa'i, Sahih Muslim, Abu Dawud, Ahmad ibn Hanbal's Musnad, Bukhari, Bayhaqi, Ibn Hibban, Darimi, and so on and so forth. So, one of the things that caught my eye was this Qatada strand, because if you don't remember from the moon splitting video, Sha'ba is known for fabricating isnads to Qatada and essentially faking this source when he really gets it from elsewhere. Right, and we'll go back to that page. So if you look under, Qatada, under Yoinball's Encyclopedia of Canonical Hadith, and I've already shown this screenshot, but I'm just going to show it again. The occurrence of any name of a companion or successor in a Qatada strand are therefore, with the exception of Anas, to be taken as possibly achieved at the hands of Qatada himself, or anyone occupying a higher tier in that strand. Among the alleged pupils of a Qatada, Sha'ba takes the most prominent position. It was Sha'ba who was instrumental in tying Qatada's name to Anas, whereby, and he just lists a bunch of students, Sa'id ibn Abi Aruba, Hisham ad-Dastawai, Hammam bin Yahya, which is a name that we see in the isnad, and Hamad bin Salama are the most frequent transmitters, making that Sha'ba's informant. Alright, so this name Hammam bin Yahya we see over here. And so what essentially Yohanbal is saying is, look, we see Qatada here and we see Hammam bin Yahya here, but they're not the true source, right? It's usually someone like Sha'ba who's saying, yes, I got it from Qatada, or yes, I got it from Hammam, when in reality he gets it somewhere else, and we see that somewhere else is over here, Sulaiman Al-Aʿmash. And he admits it too in this hadith, in Bukhari 5193, that he gets it from Sulaiman Al-Aʿmash. So what happened, likely, is that Al-Aʿmash tells Shu'ba, and Shu'ba tells this isnad, right? Ibn Abu Adi and Muhammad ibn Bashar. But then when he transmits it to Hashim, he's like, no, I didn't get it from Sulaiman Al-Aʿmash. I got it from, he says, I got it from Qatada. And he says the same thing to Yazid and Ibn Jafar. But then when Shu'ba tells, Abdul Samad, he says, actually, I got it from Hammam, and he got it from Qatada, and he got it from Surara, and he got it from Abu Huraira, right? So he kind of creates this like independent chain to Abu Huraira without having to go through Abu Hasim or Al-Aʿmash, right? So we can tell this is just completely fake. Also, if we look at this Affan strand, it seems independent, right? Affan gets it from Hammam, right? There's no Shu'ba involved in this, but Affan is a Basra. So is Shu'ba. It's likely Affan heard this hadith from his Basran counterpart and faked an isnad to Hammam. So his true source is Sulaiman Al-Aʿmash. But can we say this goes further than Sulaiman Al-Aʿmash? And we have this isnad. I think we can. I think we can say we can go to Abu Hazm, because we have this chain that seems legitimate. Yazid ibn Kaysan and Marwan ibn Abi Amr. And it says, by him in whose hand is my soul, if a man calls his wife to his bed and she refuses, the one in the heavens will be displeased with her until he is pleased with her. The difference between this one and say the other hadiths is that this one is kind of swearing by God, by him in whose hand is my soul. You don't see that in the other ones like this one. If a man invites his wife to his bed and she refuses, and he sleeps angry with her, the angels will curse her until she wakes up. There's no angels cursing in this one. And the angels cursing one is pretty prominent, as you can see. So what likely happened is Abu Hazm fabricated this hadith about angels cursing women who don't sleep with their husbands, and transmitted to not only Yazid but also transmitted to Sulaiman Al-Aʿmash, and then from Al-Aʿmash it goes out to Abu Muawiyah, Waqiyah, Jarir, and all these other guys, and also Shu'ba. But Shu'ba wants to create a Basran hadith, so he fabricates it to Qatada, a Basran hadith transmitter, as well as Hammam. All right, we also see Hammam ibn Yahya mentioned here as someone who makes dice for Shu'ba's, informant, which would be Qatada in this case. Right, so is it legitimate? Can we say that Abu Hazm was the one who fabricated this hadith? So we'd have to make this chain like that. And I say yes, and there's a hint of it in the Ilm al-Rijal system. Right, so look what Imam Dahabi says. Right. It's highlighted down here, but I also made it bigger and then had the translation. Yahya al-Uhazi said, I asked Ibn Abi Hazm, did your father hear from Abu Huraira? Right, so the son of this guy, the guy who I'm saying is a fabricator, this guy's son is saying, or is being asked, did your father hear from Abu Huraira? And he says, whoever told you that my father heard from any of the companions except from Sal ibn Sa'd has lied. Right? And we have here Al-Aʿmash as well as Yazid ibn Kaysan claiming that Abu Hazm heard from Abu Huraira, even though his own son is saying, no, Abu Hazm, my father, has never heard anything from Abu Huraira or any companion except for the one that he says, Sal ibn Sa'd. Right. So just off the rip, this is just this entire chain is fake. Right. And we've already debunked this chain as a fake isnad from Qatada at the hands of Shu'ba. So we can't even go further than Abu Hazm. So is Abu Hazm the one claiming that he got the narration from Abu Huraira, or is somebody later in the isnad claiming Abu Hazm gets it from Abu Huraira? Right, that one's hard to figure out. But we know that this does not go further than Abu Hazm, because his own son claims that the hadith doesn't go further. he admittedly says, my father's never heard from any companion. Right? Let's go back to it actually. Whoever told you that my father heard from any of the companions except for Sal ibn Sa'd has lied. And then we have these Sahih narrations saying, no, actually Abu Hazm has heard from Abu Hurairah. Keep in mind, the person who's asking him, Yahya al-Wahazi, is known as a trustworthy person within the Al-Marijal. Take that however you wish, because they say that Abu Hazm is a trustworthy person and he's claiming to receive a hadith from Abu Hurairah, so that's paradoxical, but still. It just shows you how this entire system of Ilm al-Rijal is just, it's broken, fundamentally broken. But yeah, this whole hadith is fabricated just by knowing that this is not true. Abu Hazm never received anything from Abu Hurairah. But you'll find the hadith in Bukhari, you'll find it in the Musnad of Ahmad ibn Hanbal, you'll see it in Sahih Muslim, you'll see it in Abu Dawud, you'll see it everywhere else. But this is a fabricated hadith.